Well, good morning. It is the Bulletinman coming to you live on tape from deep down in the bunker. I've been in the bunker for a long time, but I've been spending a little bit more time in Crawford County. And went down to Bourbon this evening. It was the big Meet the Candidates night. And I've posted some of the videos up on Facebook. But I just had to say a few words about the Meet the Candidates night in Bourbon. First of all, only about 20 people showed up. And I'd say half of those people weren't even from Bourbon. And so I'm really not even from Bourbon. I have an economic interest in the area, and I've had since 1988. What I do is I promote tourism in the area. I independently contract with various people throughout the county and have been doing this since 1988. I love Crawford County. I love Bourbon in particular. I've worked for one particular outfitter. He's not too happy with me right now because he loves the mayor, but God bless him. I still love JR and Vicky. They've done a lot for me. But I'm working for some other outfitters in the area as well. I went to the Meet the Candidates forum this evening. Let me turn this down a little bit. I went to the Meet the Candidates forum this evening to videotape it in support of Mr. Larry Mazarin. Larry is one of the most progressive business people I know. I met Larry a couple of years ago. I do a little newsletter. I went in there and stopped and talked to Larry. I'd been coming to Bourbon for 15 years before I even met Larry. I used to live in Leesburg, had the little store in Leesburg, sold signs for Merrimack Caverns, was on the radio for KTUI for a couple of years, had a hand in the Owensville station at 95.3. Was going to build a radio station in Leesburg, and the powers that be put a nix on that. But my dream has always been able to promote Crawford County as a tourism destiny. And actually to bring some like big name entertainment to the county to where you could draw literally hundreds of thousands of people, which would make an economic impact like you would not believe. I think we're all for growth and development in Bourbon. There's no doubt about that. Now, I love Leonard. You know, Leonard seems to be a good guy. He really does. But we've caught Leonard in a few tall tales. And Leonard dances around it, and God bless him for it. But the Armstrong administration, the only thing they've done is brought the Dollar General store to town. They admitted in the tapes this evening they had the money to buy the land. And why they didn't buy the land was a mystery. Maybe it had something to do with the mayor being the head of the BCDC. But they're not paying any property tax on that land. They've brought the Dollar General store to town. There is maybe a little increase in sales tax revenue, but they had to spend probably $100,000 of the city's money to bring the Dollar General store to town to upgrade that land. And they also took over maintenance on Route 66. Now, Leonard, trying to get out of paying for the maintenance on Route 66, is about ready to make it a scenic byway with the state, which is part of the Agenda 21 thing. And he's buddy Mary Haywood. And, of course, I always thought Mary was not Mary on Leonard's side, but maybe she is. I really don't know. Because Mary, I think there's a little tiff there because Leonard did pull out of the Merrimack Regional Planning Commission, which Mary is the chief of. But, and you got to kind of wonder, you know, I mean, you only had two people running for mayor the last time, and Leonard won by very few votes. Really, Leonard and Mary's connection. But there's been really no progress in the city of Bourbon. The city of Bourbon's reputation is come on vacation and leave on probation. If you drive through Bourbon, it's a speed trap throughout the nation. It's known as a speed trap. And Larry is going to do something about that once he gets elected mayor. Now, Larry runs a store there in town. Like I said, I didn't even know Larry was there for 15 years. I happened in there one day because I usually came down the East Service Road to get out there to Highway N. So I hardly ever came down the West Service Road in front of the cooperative. But I stopped and got to talking to Larry, and Larry couldn't stand the corruption and what was going on in Bourbon. Larry's customers are mainly poor. They're looking for a deal. They come in there, and Larry sells anything that's legal. And there's nothing wrong with that. If it's legal, then he sells it. When it becomes illegal, he don't sell it. He's no different than someone selling beer, which kills a heck of a lot more people than anything else. Someone selling alcohol and tobacco and, firearms. My goodness gracious. Why single out the man because he sells tattoo supplies? Everybody and the brother's got a tattoo today, and like Larry said in the meeting this evening, it costs you $200 to go get a tattoo license. You got to tattoo a dead pig, and then you're good to go as a tattoo artist in the state of Missouri. It's all about the money. And Larry is trying to help the little guy out. Leonard, on the other hand, wants to take advantage of the little guy, and that's why he got to be so wealthy. Now, I cannot figure out for the life of me why Leonard would jeopardize his millions of dollars, and he's a multimillionaire, why he would jeopardize that money to gain very little other than the power and the control. Someone told me this evening that's how the rich get wealthy, is by steal from the poor. Well, I watched a movie a little while ago called Inside Job, and I highly recommend that you watch it. And it shows you how the bankers and how the world financiers have bought our government. And these people have literally ripped us off and raped us, and ultimately it's going to result in a war that is going to kill 1/3 of mankind, because the United States basically has screwed the world's financial markets. And it's all done because of greed. Come on, you guys, I'm trying to make a video. Madel and Trooper are both down here, and they're trying to fight. Hey, quit it. In the name of Jesus, stop it. So anyway, that's my video for this evening. I wanted to make a video to let you all know what was going on in Bourbon. Hey, enough. If I beat on you, everybody will think I'm abusing the dogs. Yeah, shh. Be quiet. Okay. So anyway, I love you, Phyllis. I love you, Danny Skaggs. They both were irate this evening, and it's all good, We understand in the heat of the moment. I think we all agree that we love bourbon. What we don't agree on is one particular family or clique of people there in town getting rich at the expense of all the other people in town, and then also driving off tourism that comes to these towns to come on vacation and not leave on probation. What Larry will do for the city is he's not going to hide anything from you. He has no agenda. Matter of fact, he's already got a policy that if you work for the city of Bourbon, you can't buy anything. You realize that the city of Bourbon has bought over $30,000, about $25,000, $30,000 in gasoline that I can figure out. What I was able to sit down in an hour and figure out, while there's another station in town, Mobile on the Run, owned by the Wallaces. And God bless Bill Wallace. His brother Ed just passed on. But Bill did a lot for this county and did a lot for this community and of Bourbon. He, matter of fact, put Bourbon on the map pretty much with his On the Run. And the city of Bourbon should be buying all their gasoline from them as opposed to Leonard's daughter's gas station. But we'll talk more about that later on. We'll talk about the BCDC debacle and how the citizens of Bourbon are going to get screwed by the scenic byway because Leonard don't want to have to pay. God bless Leonard for trying, but Leonard, come on, my friend. You got to get it together. All right, we love you. I got to go. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good evening. And as always, tell a friend about me. I'm the one and only Bulletinman. I'll be announcing what office I'm running for here by next Tuesday. We got 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight, or for 13 days. We got 13 days, man, after that, before Bulletinman announces what office I will be seeking in Crawford County. Stay tuned.